Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Munyo, and today I want to do a review of this and this. These are the Audio Technica M20X, and these are the Behringer HPS5000. These two are mostly within the mid-range price list for when you're starting or getting a pair of headphones. Now, I will start with these. These are the first pair of headphones that I got when I started out music production. Getting them was not hard. They were cheap, they were not expensive, and they were a good buy. That's what I liked about them. I looked for something within the price range, maybe a company like Sennheiser, but they didn't have that available. There were a lot of other pair of headphones available, let's say like from companies like AKG, but they're companies I didn't know, so I didn't trust that it would be a good purchase decision. I ended up going with the Behringer HPS5000s. Now these are good value for money. These are good value for your money, especially if you're starting out. This will do a very good job. They are open back studio headphones, which means that the sound leaks through here. But the benefit of the sound leaking is that they set a kind of like a surround sound stage, and that's good for mixing. It's very good for mixing and hearing details that are not okay with your mix. But if you're listening to music, chances are the people around you can hear what is actually going on. They don't have very good noise isolation. Okay, that in itself is it's an overstatement. They do not have noise cancellation, and if someone is in the room, you can also hear what they're saying, you can hear what they're doing, someone can talk to you. So if that is your vibe, then that is okay. And if you don't have a budget that's really high, then these are your thing. These are what you should get. Okay, so those are positive things about this. I want you guys to be able to hear the kind of noise they produce. Now I am going to put them on, and when I put them on, you guys should be able to tell what I am listening to before I go any further. So let me look for like a track. Let me put this on. So this is ideally a real world example of what is going to happen the minute you put this on, and maybe you're trying to listen to music. You can't mix and master with this in let's say in a room where people are sleeping. So let's say you're married and you're starting out this thing, you'll definitely wake your wife. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Yeah. So that's it. That's a noise isolation on that. Let me just add this other pair so you guys can also hear the difference. And for this one, I won't even put them in my ears. What I'll do is you can hear this. Okay, let me just switch and tell me whether you can the difference in volume. So I'll mention that these here are way more loud than these are. You can hear that. So these are very good noise cancellation. No one can hear what you're doing most of the time if you don't want them to be able to hear. And I digress too. Let me finish with these. The thing with this is, first, they're these earpads. And I have done shorts and talked about this a lot. This is good value for your money. But first off, the shape in itself, when you put it on your head, it seems more, you look like you're a robot from a certain movie. And then number two, this here falls off immediately you get it. It falls off, it just falls off to pieces the minute you get it. So I didn't enjoy that. In the first week, most of this was actually gone, so I ended up just removing all of them for my peace of mind. I thought maybe they had stayed on the shelf for a very long time, but I found out they had not. That's just how they are, and I looked for replacement for them, but I didn't find any. This also with time falls off due to use. I put it back with glue, but you can see some of that action going on. Apart from that, yeah, I'll also mention that on the lows aspect, they have good lows. You can hear bass maybe up to around 50, 40 hertz, and that in itself is a lot. But any defined bass that you want for your mix, that low end, that sub bass, this is not good for that. This is just good within the vocal range to high, and just a little bass starting up. So what you'll get with this is that you can hear everything that you're mixing from the bottom all the way up. I'll also mention that when you're mixing, what is important is to be able to hear the mid-range frequencies. If your mid-range frequencies are perfect, then chances are that the mix will sound good when you're listening on a system. But the thing is also that it's also good to hear how heavy your basses are, so that you can know how to fix that in case you're doing too much. And that is it on these. I'll make some additions after I finish if I remember. But then from these ones, I transitioned to these ones. Now, at the time, I felt like I needed... my mixes didn't have good bass. And if they had bass, they had a lot of it. And I wanted to fix that. But in order to fix that, because I didn't have good studio monitors, the studio monitors I had, I'm the one who made for myself, I needed to get headphones that could do a good job. Now, these are the lowest in price in the Audio-Technica lineup. You have these are the M20X, you have the M30, M40, M50X. M50 are top tier. They are top of this lineup. I don't know if they've produced any other, but I know that these are the ones you start with. Now, I will mention that at the time, I had not read a certain review, or I did my research, and I did extensive research, but I'd only hear people saying, if you're going to get a good pair of studio headphones to start up and you're going for the Audio-Technicas, it's better you just add some few dollars and get the M30X, all right? And I didn't know why until I read a certain review later on that said that these are good for entertainment purposes. You listen to this for entertainment. They have a very long cord and cable. These are good for recording, first of all, because they are closed back. So that noise cancellation feature that I mentioned earlier, it helps in this aspect. When you are recording, because there's no leakage of sound, that the music you're listening to, you'll not hear it on your recorded vocal. With this, you'll not hear it. With these ones here, you definitely will. And the thing with these is that in terms of the highs, they are not so well defined. They are lacking. So you get more of a boxy feel when you listen. These are not good for critical listening or mixing in that aspect. And remember, this is just a review. This is just my take on these and how I have used them so far. These were not so... They fixed it for me in terms of working on the mix and bass, but the 3D surround or the soundstage that get with these lack. Okay, so they don't have that wide surround, that wide experience, but you'll get that listening experience. You know how it's like to listen to your mix from a new person's perspective. They are comfortable. Let me mention that these earmuffs, you know, they fit your ears. They don't fit them completely, but your ears somehow fit inside there. So it's a different world. It's a very different world in comparison to these. The minute I got these, in the first hour, I felt like my ears had been doing press-ups, like they'd been working out. They were in pain. And of course, you get used to it. Then sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, are my ears changing shape because of how much they are being squeezed, you know? So this will happen with these. and it would be such a stress to work with them. I'm sorry for using that, but after 3 hours of mixing and mastering, you just want to take a break. With these, my hours were increased. There was still some fatigue, but they were okay. They have they have that stretchy thing going on, so you can use them to mix and master for a bit of a long time. But I can't say that these are quite ideal for mixing. They are, but there's still a lot more to be done, if you get my feel, if you get what I'm saying. So I haven't used the M20X headphones. Maybe I'd like to get my hands on them to have a feel on how that is like. But with time, I realized there is what this gave me that this did not, and there is what this gave me that this did not. And of course, the overall feel started becoming that I needed something better than this. But this review is simply for these two, to give the comparison in them. So maybe if you want to buy, you can know what to buy. So if you were to ask me, I'd say these ones are good for mixing and mastering. For the price range and for what they go for, it is way better to get these. There are those demerits that come with them, but they have lasted me long. I've stayed with them for over 3 years, 3 to 4 years. These ones are also good. So what they wouldn't, eventually they ended up complementing one another, but I ended up having or desiring something better. Eventually I ended up getting these. These are for a different video, but they are called an industry standard. After using them, I understood why. So I've made this video with a hope that if you want to get these studio headphones, this video can kind of give you some clarity on what you're getting. You've heard how loud these are. This is, it has some good noise isolation. This does not have such good noise isolation, but in terms of mixing, I've made some very good mixes with this. I've mixed with these, but I had to, route back to this sometimes to confirm how the mix sound like. And it doesn't mean that this won't mix good. I know I have not spoken a lot about this to give it such a positive review, but from the boxy feel and everything, I'd enjoy traveling and working with this. I'd enjoy listening to music on them. I'd enjoy the bass that will come with them, but I'd be aware that when I put this on, also added to the open back thing, they give you a very good sound stage, and these here do not give you that sound stage, because you can't tell. Now you can get something better with this. I know for not all headphones give you a good sound stage. When I got these ones did everything that these two are lacking in. Of course, it's not perfect. There are areas where it can be improved on, but these ones managed to do what these ones could not do. So if there's anything else you guys would like to know regarding them, I have them. You can see they're here. You can post it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. You guys have yourselves a lovely day. I'll see you in the next one.